No one will forget that day in December 2012 when a gunman burst into Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut. The attack prompted an Ohio school district to take some drastic measures to protect its students.
Crime Tracker 10's Maureen Cosat traveled to Sydney in Shelby County, where teachers have access to guns and they're not afraid to use them in case of an emergency.
The mystery of the missing lunch.
Sydney City Schools asked us not to name this fourth grade teacher, but spend a little time in her classroom and you'll find
He made a suspect list.
it's difficult to imagine her raising her voice, much less a gun.
I had never even really held a gun before, and guns made me very nervous.
She says her attitude changed on December 14th, 2012, when Adam Lanza shot his way into Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut. He killed 20 children, ages 6 and 7, and 6 adults before turning the gun on himself.
I thought, what would I have done? You know, you start thinking, how would I have reacted? Would I have been able to think?
Sydney City School Superintendent John Shue was asking the same questions.
When Sandy Hook happened, that completely changed my way of thinking.
Reports surfacing from Sandy Hook reveal it took the first responding officer just 2 minutes and 41 seconds to come to the rescue. By that time, the children and the gunman were already dead.
It is obvious to us that time is of the essence.
Shelby County Sheriff John Lenhart says the statistics are staggering.
After the first shot is fired, every 17 seconds, a kid either is hurt or killed.
The sheriff says he shudders to think how much damage a gunman could do at a rural school.
In the middle of our cornfields out here, we got lots of schools, and we may be, on a good day, 12, 15 minutes from responding.
Armed with that knowledge, the district hatched a security plan that raised a lot of hands and eyebrows. A plan that included buying several weapons and ammunition for every school building. Retired police officer Rick Cron says he was all for the idea.
I can quote my father, you never need a gun until you need a gun.
The district hired retired law enforcement officers like Cron to patrol the schools, but they aren't carrying firearms.
Weapons and ammunition are stored in a secret location in one of these. It's called a biometric box. I can try to gain entry, but the device doesn't recognize my fingerprint.
School security officers can access the biometric box along with volunteer first responders.
So you know how to head your paper right now.
Including our soft-spoken fourth grade teacher. She is one of 27 educators in the Sydney School District who are taking part in ongoing tactical and firearms training, prepared to put her life on the line if her school ever comes under attack.
I think your life's on the line anyway.
It's a choice only a handful of Ohio school districts are making. Columbus City Schools tells 10 TV it's never considered giving teachers access to guns. The district says an armed police resource officer is inside every Columbus high school, along with a team of 40 unarmed security officers trained to de-escalate conflicts. Across central Ohio, most school buildings are on level 1 lockdown, meaning exterior doors are locked at all times and visitors must be buzzed in. Many schools are now monitored by surveillance cameras, and thousands of teachers and students have trained with law enforcement to learn what to do if their school is ever attacked. It does appear the idea is gaining popularity. The Buckeye Firearms Association says even though most Ohio school districts don't allow staff to carry guns, it's already trained 300 school staff with hundreds more on a waiting list. This teacher says she volunteered because she wanted to have a plan.
Instead of just hiding and cowering in the corner and being frightened.
The decision to arm Sydney schools hasn't come without concerns.
I did have a couple people come to me and say, have you really thought through what you're doing? Have you really thought about it?
The county sheriff says he's faced some criticism.
Could you tell me, in my career of 48 years, what I should be doing that is more important than protecting the kids of this county?
The superintendent says some question why go to such great lengths to prepare for something that will likely never happen.
I immediately respond that if an active shooter can kill innocent kids at an Amish school in Pennsylvania, it can happen in Sydney, Ohio.
Shue says he's not naive enough to believe even these extreme security measures could stop a gunman.
that if a person is that bent on coming into a school and doing carnage in a school, that it could still happen here.
But he says he does believe guns in schools can save innocent lives.